Some news stories break through the daily noise and force a society to completely stop. The disappearance of 5-year-old Ayat Noor is one of them. She lived in Pathan Colony in Haripur. Like millions of children across the country, she stepped outside her front door one afternoon simply to play. She never came back. Over the next 2 weeks, police tracked CCTV footage, used geofencing, and deployed intelligence tools to comb the surrounding area. On August 25, 2026, the search ended. Her body was found at the bottom of a well. The suspects taken into custody eventually confessed to a horrific sequence of events. They abducted her, sexually assaulted her, and took her life before trying to hide the evidence. This localized tragedy destroyed one family, and the sheer brutality of it forces every parent in the country to look at their own front door and question exactly how secure their children really are. The legal system, law enforcement, and courts have their own strictly defined job to do now, examining the evidence and delivering a verdict. But the rest of us are left holding a much wider, far more terrifying problem. Shrugging this off by saying we live in dark times is an unacceptable response. It completely abdicates our responsibility as caregivers. For generations, we've relied on a strategy of passive safety. We let kids play street cricket or wander the local neighborhood, assuming they are protected simply because they are close to home. Hope is no longer a viable defense strategy. Parents must actively build a psychological protocol that their children carry with them the moment they step outside. Ayat Noor cannot come back. We can, however, honor her memory. We also have to scrap the outdated stranger danger lecture. Statistically, people who exploit children are often individuals the child already knows and recognizes. This diagram shows how a child's social world actually operates. Instead of teaching a blanket fear of the massive outer ring of strangers, we need to teach children to specifically identify this tiny inner circle, their verified safe adults. Teach them behavioral red flags. If any adult, even a close relative, tries to scare them, offers them secret bribes, or says the words, "Don't tell your parents," that is an immediate trigger to go straight to a safe adult. Physical locks can be bypassed. A child trained to instantly spot manipulative behavior in their own proximity is vastly more secure. Next is pure emergency preparedness. Every child must memorize their full name, their parents' exact names, and at least 2 reliable phone numbers. For toddlers who are too young to retain that information, physically pin a hidden emergency contact card inside their clothing. We must teach bodily autonomy and clear personal boundaries. Establish which parts of their body are completely private and off-limits. If anyone crosses these boundaries, they need your explicit permission to shout "no," physically flee, and report the violation immediately to a trusted adult. Predators rely on a child's conditioned obedience. Giving a child the vocabulary and the authority to loudly refuse an adult completely disrupts that dynamic. If a child actually comes to you with a report, your reaction dictates everything that follows. You must listen closely, stay perfectly calm, and never respond with anger or scolding. Looking them in the eye and saying, "I believe you, and you did the right thing by telling me," provides immense psychological grounding. Silencing them to avoid social embarrassment leaves them isolated with their trauma. From a legal standpoint, society has to operate strictly by the book. That means preserving any potential crime scene evidence and completely rejecting the urge to pursue vigilante justice. Any suspicion of abuse must be reported to the proper authorities immediately. Organizations like the National Commission on the Rights of Child are specifically set up to receive and handle these violations. Ayat Noor's story leaves us facing a difficult question. We spend enormous energy making sure our children are educated, but we must ask ourselves if we are actually teaching them how to survive. Children are a sacred trust. A courtroom verdict will close the legal case, but honoring Ayat Noor's life and memory requires actively building a society where kids can finally play without fear.